Welcome to No Scripts Required. No Scripts Required. A podcast with real conversations, zero rehearsals, and absolutely no scripts. And now, here are your hosts.
All right, guys. Welcome back. I guess I should welcome myself back. It is No Scripts Required here, May 10th. That's not May 10th. It's May 9th, 2025. I made it back from Europe, and I'm orange in the picture because it's bright outside, and I don't like it because we're usually doing this later when I've been here. So, yeah. What's going on, guys?
Whatever, Johnny.
Yanni? I don't have that kind of hair. It's all pretty. You know, it's kind of funny that we saw the last like Yanni concert that he did at the Acropolis. We were like that. They showed the what the hell is it? The stadium that he played, that they built back in the BCs or whatever. That he performed at it live at the Acropolis. They still use that venue for like live shows and music and stuff. It's like pretty sweet. I got a shit ton of pictures. I mean, if you guys want to see them, I'll share them. If not, it's going to be a pretty short show tonight because I really didn't have a whole lot of planning this week. Kind of got back into the swing of things with work and school for my son and just getting to get the house back together and spending more money when I got home than I wanted to because things broke. It's been fun. Like that.
Yeah, I saw that. What, washer then dryer, or dryer then washer?
Dryer then washer, and the day back to back. The dryer went. I was doing my nephew and his girlfriend were staying here while we were gone, so they were here for like 2 weeks or 15 days, whatever the hell we were gone, and they had no problems with it. Thank God it didn't break while they were here. And so I was doing our laundry, and I was on our last load of clothes, and and the dryer was like, you know, it didn't. I was like, all right, I ran it, and then the cycle ended, and I opened the thing up, and everything's like still damp. I'm like, well, is the vent blocked? So I checked the vent; it wasn't blocked, and I'm like, let me try this again. Well, I did it, and I noticed something, so I opened the door, and I realized that the cylinder wasn't spinning anymore, and I said, oh, that could be a problem. So I just kind of said, you know, fuck this. I've had this thing for like 7 or 8 years now, 9 years. I forgot when I got this dryer. So I just went and ordered a new one. We have a gas dryer. So, you know, it's, I don't know if it's any more, cost more or whatever. So I ordered the new dryer. They delivered it, and we were joking around. I was joking around with the delivery guys because they said, didn't we just deliver you an oven or a stove like in the last few months? I go, yeah, I just replaced my stove. It just died. So in a matter of like the last 6 months, maybe less, maybe 4 months, my oven died. I had to get a new oven. My microwave died, and they came and put the new microwave in the day before we left. And then when I get back, my dryer goes. And then I'm like, all right, the dryer's working. So let me rewash this load of clothes that are stuff they're still kind of. So I throw them in the washer, and I turn it on, and I come back, and it's got the error message saying not enough water detected. And I'm like, what? And so sometimes it does that. I'm like, all right. So I unplugged it and, you know, rebooted it in a way. And because those things have computers in them now. And then I started it, you know, it again, and the same thing happened. So I took the hoses off and checked the intake valves, make sure they weren't clogged. They were fine. So I called, was it not Maytag, Whirlpool, their support number, and they were like, well, if you check the intake valves, it could be there's like a sensor that could be going bad, or there's something with the motherboard, whatever. So he had me try to, because these things all connect to the internet now, so I connected it to the internet. So he checked, they pushed like a software update to it, and it didn't change anything. He goes, nope, sounds like it could be your sensor or something is faulty. And he said, we could order one for you. It'll be about 2 weeks before you get it. And I said, well, how much is it going to run me? Since it's out of warranty, all I have is it wasn't covered under the warranty. So about another $350 it would have cost me. And he goes, you're almost better off just buying a new one at this point. I said, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I ended up went up to Lowe's, got another one. So my dryer came, and then the next day they delivered me a washer. Now it was a different delivery guys. And we were joking around about how he's like, well, maybe we'll see you, and then see you soon with a new washer. And I'm like, no, don't jinx me. So now the oldest appliance in my kitchen is, or laundry room kitchen is, my dishwasher, and that thing is only about a year and a half old. So in the last like year and a half, I've replaced every appliance in my kitchen and the two in my laundry room, which is on the first floor, right off my kitchen. So I consider that part of my kitchen. So every appliance in my kitchen has been replaced in the last year and a half.
It sucks on how expensive it is to get this shit repaired.
I know, and that's like, I mean, I'm okay with getting it new, but I didn't want to spend another $1,200-$1,300 when I got back from a vacation that cost me like 3 times that, plus, with having to pay for my son and myself, and then whatever we paid for over there. I mean, the good thing is we went with my parents and my sister and my niece, so we all took turns buying dinner or lunches, and buying meals with each other, since we almost always ate together. I mean, the only time we were apart is when my sister and my niece went to Santorini for 3 days. Well, my parents and my son and I were extra day in Chios, and then we went to Athens a day early. And that's when we were apart when my son and I went to Delphi together, and my parents were on their own, and my parents got lost in Athens twice. I'll have to tell that story. And one other time we lost my dad, and it was very obviously we found them, and I found him, and Louis in here now trying to see what's going on. But yeah, I guess I can get into that. Is that Beth or your daughter? I couldn't tell.
That was Madison.
It was Madison. Like, I just saw glasses.
No, that was Madison.
So yeah, but that was pretty much my week. Has been replacing that. Now I've got new appliances and stuff, and trying to get the house back together. And hi, Madison.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what about you guys? What have you guys been up to the last few weeks? I didn't get a chance to watch any of the shows. I saw you guys were on last week, but we were at my parents' house for dinner, and I just was
I mean, and you missed out on some epically great shows.
I'm sure I did. I mean, we lose Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, we somehow pulled together as a team. There was some real bonding going on. I think we're all stronger and better now for it.
Was it a therapy session?
Yeah. We really just kind of let some of it air out, and
you let some of your feelings show. And
I'm pretty sure I cried twice.
That's why Jesse's not here. He had to go to an extra therapy session,
right?
Which is kind of funny.
No,
that's kind of what he's doing.
Honestly, everything's been so hectic for all of us lately. I mean, I think Jim was pulling like double shifts. I was on the road most of the time, and I mean, we kind of covered the draft. We covered some WrestleMania stuff. Like, I mean, not to say that we did the bare minimum, but we somehow made it work.
It doesn't matter, As I always said, as long as there's something on the channel, it could have just been a video of my dog licking himself for an hour. It's better than nothing. We're Rev.
Well, and I finally figured out, and I can't run it all through our form here, but I have figured out how to stream gaming now.
Oh yeah, I gotta. That reminds me, I gotta hook up that capture card that I bought. Try to get that working. If it works through StreamYard, it's the one that they recommended, then I could tell you which one it is. Unless you're...
I mean, I found a way. I linked the YouTube channel.
Okay.
So at least I can... Yeah, so at least if I can run it through... I haven't had a chance to try it, but I've done like some local recordings.
Yeah.
And everything worked fine. played didn't play anything, but it showed the logo screen, switched over to the gameplay, recorded sound, everything was good.
I think there's a way we can set it up with StreamYard where we can upload a video and it'll air it.
Well, and that's what I was even thinking of doing, is if I didn't want to do it live, I could just do it as a recording and then play the video, because the video would obviously have sound.
Right.
Every problem that I had with StreamYard all tied into the sound.
Yeah, I've
The
heard.
video was fine, and then as soon as I clicked, because I'm running the dual monitors,
Mhm.
as soon as I clicked back into the game screen so it would pull the sound,
Yeah.
the video would go choppy. So then I tried to use a different studio format and then use the whatever that OBS camera.
I hate OBS, but
I'm not a fan of it, but I was able to at least make it work.
Yeah. I bet you the capture card will fix all your problems because it takes the burden off the PC a little bit. So I think that's probably what.
I don't know why that would be the problem. Like, why would I only have that problem in StreamYard though, and nothing else?
I know that it doesn't. It could just be something with the software that they're in their software. That's the only thing I can think of.
Because I tried every different game that I have on the computer, and it always did the same thing.
Huh? I'll have to try. I'll have to try out with that capture card, because I do. Well, when I stream, I'll probably be streaming the console games, because I know that new Mafia is coming out in August, which interested me. And see, I don't know. I kind of, I guess I'll have to play around, and if it works, I can let you know. But you're streaming through your PC though.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a PS5 that
Right.
If it makes sense to do something through that, I can always just bring the PS5 into my office.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I gotta play with it. I'll have more time now that the vacation's done, and right now I have a lot of free time during the day since I'm not on a project at work. So I'm doing trainings, but who are we kidding? I'm not spending 8 hours watching training videos. I don't.
Yeah, I'll jump on one day. I know I've got to go back out of town next week, like Tuesday through Thursday. But I mean, if we can find a time, I'll jump into the studio with you, and at least I'll show you what it was doing.
Yeah, you kind of explained it to me, and I think, yeah, we could figure it out. Like I said, even if it's during the day, I just know we're coming up with soccer, baseball games. So we got rained out with everything since we've been back. I mean, you guys know how rainy it's been here, and it's just been they kept makeup games after makeup game, and finally we have a makeup game tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. and then so we have a soccer game on Sunday, and then we have another baseball game on Monday. There's also a soccer game Monday, which we're not going to go to, and I think we obviously have another baseball game like Wednesday or something. I forget what it is. We've got games coming out of our asses like in the next like foreseeable future. I'm like, why did I sign up for this? But
Time of the year.
yeah, I know.
Yep.
It'll be done in July, because then baseball's done and soccer will be over well before that. June, I think, is when soccer's over. Another month. Actually, we've missed 2 soccer games. One because we were out of town, and then the other was this Thursday or Wednesday. It was Wednesday, the 7th. My son had a band concert, so that overlapped with the soccer game. They've won both their games. They're 2-0. I told my son, see, they're better off without you. Our fall season, we went 1-6-1, 1-1, lost 6, and tied 1, and they're 2-0 without him. So I said, maybe you should just not go to any games. Maybe they'll go 8-0. But yeah, we were supposed to go out to Sandusky on Sunday. Or no, Sunday or Saturday last week. No, Sunday. It was Sunday. We were supposed to have a game in Sandusky on Sunday. It's that night, that Force Sports Complex right on the lake there. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh yeah, it's turf. So they thought the game was going to be on, but it was going to be like really windy and really cold. Well, then at the last minute, the other team decided to reschedule it. So now it looks like we might be rescheduling it for like Wednesday or Thursday, like 2 weeks from now. We have to drive out there on a like 6 o'clock start, so we have to leave here at like 5 to get out there. So yeah, I don't know. Our coach is waiting to see if we could have at least 11 show up for that game before he commits to it, because otherwise we'll be shorthanded. But I don't know. It's spring soccer. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, again, it is soccer. So, but my son likes it. He's pretty good at it. So whatever.
Well, that's what counts.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So anything else? Interesting, new?
Not really. No.
You're boring.
Same here, just still working a lot.
Yeah, I can't say that really I am. I'm just kind of
Getting back into the swing of things.
well, yeah. I mean, I really have nothing going on at work. I mean, I think I spent more time watching TV this week than I did actually doing anything work related. I mean, next week I have a couple meetings. I have what they call it, coffee with D, who's my manager's boss.
Mm-hmm.
And she just picks random people. It's kind of like a informal chat with about like 12 or 14 people from our group. Just be talking, just kind of see how things are going. She does it like every month with different people, which is kind of cool. Especially I'm up for a promotion, so it's kind of be able to like talk with her. I should be having an interview with her soon.
Hello. I've been watching TV. I guess we're getting back to. I'm up for a promotion.
Well, I am. We've been talking about this for like a few months, going back to like September, October. My manager mentioned me possibly going for the next level up, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that, because the next level for me would be a test lead, and that's a lot of more. I won't be doing as much testing as I do now. I would be doing a lot of meetings and try to be like divvy out the work. I don't know if I want to do that. It's just metrics and reports. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know, but I mean, I've already kind of gone down the path, and I've led a couple meetings already. So it's kind of like I kind of already done the work. I might as well just go for it at this point. I mean, but like, is it really worth the minimal salary increase? I don't know if it's worth it or not, but whatever. I don't know. Minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I was in Vegas all week for a trade show. I had to go to Waste Expo. It's all the people that make like garbage trucks and compactors. And
was RoboCop there? Because that sounds like something from the RoboCop movies, like Waste Expo.
No, but it sucked. I wanted to get you guys I wanted to get some pictures, because as soon as I read the sign, all I could think of was the Zoolander movie with Derelict,
Oh, jeez.
where they were dressed in like trash, like the hobos.
Yeah.
And so there was, in the back corner of the Las Vegas Convention Center, there was a company that was doing a fashion show, and it was all like recycled garbage was the clothes.
And they wouldn't let you take pictures?
And I couldn't take pictures. But I mean, it was Zoolander. It was perfect. and they wouldn't let me. So it sucked. But the one thing, honestly, the biggest pleasant surprise that I got out of this week, I had booked everything on Expedia.
Yeah.
I was like, I got sick of trying to flip back and forth, because with Vegas, everybody's running room specials, but then you got to carry resort fees. And it's like, I'm like looking, I'm like, okay, I've got to book a flight. I've got to book a car. I've got to book, like, I've just got to book all this shit. And I'm like, Expedia, do it all in one place and be done.
Right.
I didn't want to mess with Uber. So they have an option to where you can have a car pick you up, take you to your hotel, and then pick you up and take you to the airport.
Right.
So it worked out great. Monday morning, I got a text from my driver with a picture of the car, really nice new white Tesla, the one with the gull wing doors.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture, and he was like, all right, I see your flight lands at this. I'll be there 15 minutes later. Text me when you get past baggage claim, and I'll let you know where, because Vegas, it's not just pull up and pick somebody up outside of baggage claim.
Right.
So especially if you're going to the taxi and rideshare area, they have basically like an entire garage with lanes and stalls. So I text him. He says, all right, yeah, no, go to E2. I'm there. Great. Picks me up. Super nice, flamboyantly gay Brazilian guy.
Was his name
And
Raul or Rico?
I'd have to pull it back up. It was something with a W. But this guy is like singing and belting, jamming out Lady Gaga songs the whole way from the airport to the hotel. Which was kind of fitting because I was like, I want to stay central, so I just stayed at the Flamingo.
Yeah.
And ever since Caesars bought all of those places right there, they redid everything. The Flamingo is cheap, and that place was great. The room was spotless. It was perfect. But the best kicker was I get a text Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I'm sorry, Wednesday night, because I'm leaving Friday. And it's a different guy, and he sends me a picture of the car, and he's like, hey, I'll pick you up right outside, right underneath the neon signs, right by the valet. And I'm like, cool, great. I'm standing outside yesterday, and I'm with all the people, like they're getting into their Ubers and the taxis, and everyone's getting into their little, like the Honda Civic Uber, the Camry Uber. I'm standing there just in shorts and a t-shirt, hat, just like I normally am, nothing. This completely tinted out, all blacked, murdered out Cadillac Escalade comes pulling up. And I see him, so I step forward and just kind of give the hey, this little Chinese guy hops out of the front, comes running around, hands me a bottle of water, takes both of my bags, opens the back door. And I hear the two girls that are standing behind me because, there's not even so much as an SUV anywhere in any of these rideshare taxis. It's nothing. And then there's this massive, and it's the biggest Escalade you can get. And this guy's opening the door for me, getting me in, calling me sir. I hear the two girls that were standing right next to me go, who the fuck is this guy?
You should turn around and been like, yeah.
All I did was just kind of turned as I was getting into the back seat. As he went to shut the door, I just turned and looked at him and just went, gave him the quick head nod.
It's funny.
I told my boss about it because he was making fun of me. He was like, I told you, just rent a car. And I'm like, renting a car for the week is going to be like $500 plus gas. Then I got to pay to park every day at the convention center. I'm like, this way, I just bought a pass for the monorail. The monorail station's right at the Flamingo. I get on. It takes 6 minutes. I get out. I hop on, because the Las Vegas, the convention center there is so freaking big.
Mm-hmm.
They let you out at the South Hall. I go downstairs, jump on the Tesla loop, because they have underground tunnels in Teslas that will give you rides.
The auto driving ones?
No, they actually have people driving them.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, these tunnels are so... I guess the guy said that you get tunnel vision in them, but realistically, there's a lot more space than what you feel like there is. But dude, I walk downstairs. They're like, oh, yeah, no, go to stall 2. Tesla pulls up, doors pop open, hop in, and they're like, where are you going? I'm like, West Hall. They're like, cool. Shoots down these tunnels at like 45 miles an hour, pulls up, bam, out in the door. I'm like, my boss is making fun of me. I'm like, dude, my 3-day pass cost me $30. The Tesla loop's free. My rides to and from the airport, it was a $60 add-on.
Oh,
So
gee.
even when you throw on a tip, you're not going from the airport to a hotel on the strip and back with tip in an Uber for under
Oh,
$100.
absolutely not.
And I tipped $20 each way, so it was $100. And I'm like, dude, I didn't have to mess with gas. I didn't have to pay to park. I didn't have to do anything. I'm like, no, this was a steal.
Oh, absolutely.
But man, that was so funny. Who the fuck is this guy? So, I'm like just getting in there, like I'm kind of a big deal. You should know me.
I know Brian Kozar.
No, Brian Kosar. You may not, but trust me, I do. But
I
it was
know.
great, and I mean the show was over at 5, and of course I get out there on Monday and it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
Which every time I go to Vegas, ever since I lived there, every time I go back now it rains. But so it rained the first night that I was there. Other than that, it was like overcast and 75 on Tuesday, sunny and 80 on Wednesday. I'm like, dude, I could not have asked for a better time. The
Oh,
show
yeah.
ends at 5. I go back, dude, I walked all over the freaking place. I was over. I'm like, oh, I'll go check out the Bellagio fountains. I'll go check. I ended up taking the monorail down and then hopping over to Mandalay Bay. Went and saw like the shark reef, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go do the tourist crap that I never did when I lived here.
Oh, you might as well. Free trip.
What's the major concerts there now? Who's down
The
there?
Sphere.
Yeah, well, who's performing there on a
I
regular?
don't think there's anybody playing the Sphere right now. Well, there wasn't while I was there because I looked, and the only tickets that were there were just for like the Sphere experience. But I think
What's it?
Dead and Company
Yeah.
are still have some dates.
It says Dead and Company, Pitbull, Brad Paisley, Josh Groban, and Barry Manilow, as long as returning artists like Janet Jackson and the Eagles.
So is it
Well, I
Barry
knew
Manilow that's the
The
regular?
Eagles are coming like September, October, I think.
Oh,
They're doing a residency like the Dead and Company are doing now.
yeah. Like right now, Josh Groban, I see it May 14th. Brad Paisley, May 10th. Donny Osmond is always there. A guy, Katy Perry. Fuck Katy Perry.
Oh yeah, well no, just at the Sphere though, I think it was Dead and Company, and then I don't think the Sphere has anything else till the Eagles.
Oh, really?
Josh Groban is playing like the Venetian or something
The
like
Coliseum. It
that.
says.
Yeah.
I guess on what? Who's the regulars? That's what I'm
Oh,
trying to figure
like
out.
Wayne Newton.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Dude,
wasn't Britney
he
Spears
still
doing it for a
plays
while?
at the Flamingo.
Yeah, he does. You know his mother-in-law just passed away. She used to remember the old Silver Tee driving range and putt course here. It
Oh
was
yeah.
in
Yeah.
Like she owned that. And when I was younger, actually I was saying younger, my college, my uncle worked at the driving range. I don't know if you remember that, Dustin, but he worked at the driving range there. So he needed help like driving the tractor and picking the balls up and washing them and everything. So I worked there for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 summers, whatever. So one time I was there and I was in the back and I come walking out there and I hear these people talking and I walk out there and there's Wayne Newton standing there because he was married to Marilyn Macron's daughter. She was there. The daughter and Wayne Newton was there. Wayne Newton was freaking, it's like six, was he like 6'4" or something? He's massive.
Yeah, he's not a little guy.
No, he's massive, and he was real nice. I mean, obviously, you could see the plastic surgery just like melting in his face, and this was like back in like 2001, maybe 2000, maybe more, maybe not, maybe like 99, 98. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but yeah. Let's see. Residency in Vegas in 2025. Janet Jackson, Lionel Richie, Barry Manilow, the Eagles, Sammy Hagar, and Bruno Mars. Kenny Chesney, Kelly Clarkson, Donny Osmond, and the Backstreet Boys. Eagles are there at the Sphere. You're right. Residency at the Sphere. Sammy Hagar is going to be.
I don't think they're not starting it until like fall.
Okay. Janet Jackson is at the resorts.
Dude, even just to go see the Sphere experience, which I don't know exactly what it is, but it's not a live performance of anything, was
Yeah.
$100.
They got to pay for that somehow. I mean,
Well, no, but I mean everything there. Like Vegas, it used to be like you could go to Vegas, and if unless you're gambling, you could always find so much stuff to do that was dirt cheap, and nothing is cheap anymore.
oh yeah, well that's everywhere.
I mean, just going to see like a half-cocked comedy show at one of these things, like somebody I've never even heard of, is like $70.
Like Stephen Prince. I've heard of him. You guys have heard of him. The world has. Let's see, other artists, regular shows, Cirque du Soleil, Blue Man Group, David Copperfield, Raiding the Rock
I
Wall.
was amazed to see that David Copperfield is still performing.
What is he like? He's like 70,
He still pulls in the money.
Yeah,
and the pussy.
Still love him.
Carrot Top is still a regular performer.
Carrot Top. Yeah, David Copperfield.
Yeah, he has like a residency at, it's either the Luxor or the Mandalay Bay, I think.
Oh, look at that up. David Copperfield's 68 years old.
I would have guessed older because I mean I remember watching the David Copperfield specials like when I was a kid.
Didn't he make the Statue of Liberty disappear?
Yeah. The Carrot Top is 60.
And dude, have you seen a picture of him? Like the dude's freaking huge.
I was just gonna say,
like Mickey Rourke.
I know
he has some plastic surgery too.
He's ripped.
He is.
Dude's jacked.
He's only 5'10", but he's ripped. I mean, I remember seeing a picture. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, steroid boy here.
Yeah,
but, he's his real name is Scott Thompson. If anybody cares or didn't know that,
I don't think they do.
I don't think anybody knows. I mean, what the guy. I'm sure there's probably people like, who the hell's Carrot Top? I probably have to Google him and look it up now. But we know who Carrot Top is. He's a comedian actor with his big curly red hair, which is probably dyed right now because he's 60 years old and he's probably got gray hair like we do.
Yeah.
But
there was a lot of stuff though that I was surprised. Like, not that I was searching for like a buffet, but there's like every casino when I lived there, like every casino had a relatively cheap like 24-hour buffet.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like I think there's maybe 5 or 6 casinos up and down the strip, and like during the week, the only thing they do is brunch.
Yeah, I think COVID killed those. If I remember, I got a friend of mine. Her and her husband go to Vegas like yearly, maybe sometimes twice a year. And I remember her mentioning something about somebody asked her about the buffets, and she said ever since COVID they kind of stopped them, or they're like you said, they're few and far between, or they don't do the 24-hour buffets anymore. They're more like you said, like brunch or dinner.
Yeah, weekends they'll do dinner, but
yeah,
like, and I'll admit, the Bellagio has one for like a brunch buffet that holy crap, that thing looked good.
I haven't been to Vegas probably since the mid 90s, maybe late 90s, I think was when I went. And the one we went to, and I can't remember what hotel it was at or what casino it was at. The buffet they had like every different cut of steak you'd want. Like the guy was back there grilling them, so they were like coming off fresh. Like you could,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it was only $25 for the all you can eat buffet. And we went there we were there for 3 days, and we went there every night for dinner because we're like, fuck that, I'm eating steak for $25 and grab like 3 ribeyes and 2 fillets. And you're like, fuck that, yeah.
I haven't been there since 2003.
Yeah,
I want to go back, but I don't. My son wants to go, and I know he can't get into a lot of places down there, but I do want him to be able to see places. So I just don't know what I'm going to do with him.
Wait till he's 18, maybe.
Yeah.
Or is he got to be 21 now to get into some of those places or most of those places? I don't know. He
used
to be 18.
Which places is he trying to get into?
Strip clubs?
He just wants to go and see it. But, if we want to go out and go somewhere.
There were kids everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, but trying to get inside. I mean, you can take kids into the casinos.
No, because to get to a hotel, you have to walk right through the casino.
But don't you have to be staying there? Like, don't you have to show that you have a key card?
I never saw somebody checking anybody at the door.
Oh, maybe. Oh, well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe he just couldn't.
No, I think what it is as long as as long as he's kind of moving through the casino, they wouldn't care.
Or even
But
if
if
it's
he,
an adult, though, I don't think they'd care either. Because if you're with your parents, they're not going. Your parents want to stop and gamble. The kid's just going to stand there. It's not like they're going to stop the kid from being with his parents. They can't do. I don't think they'll do that. I don't know. I didn't go there with a kid.
that I don't know because I didn't see anybody doing it. But I mean, I saw tons of people walking through the casino with kids.
Yeah, I've had no desire to go back to Vegas in 30 years or whatever. It's the last time I was there. Maybe a little less, but
Yeah, it's like a 2-day trip. If that.
But there's plenty of stuff. The only thing that I always just try to push, because especially now, nothing is as close as it looks.
Oh no.
oh no, it's I was there in
Well,
98.
especially
98.
now,
That's when I was there.
especially now because where there used to be a lot of crosswalks, they've built these bridges. So like if you're trying to get just across the street, if you're standing on one corner but you're just trying to get to the other corner, you have to go like, oh, you got to go down the street, up over the bridge here, got to go down, up over the bridge to get to that corner.
Ooh.
And so some of it's a pain in the ass. I think like my first day of wandering around, I looked at my watch at one point and I was at like 36,000 steps.
Jesus. Sounds
Yeah,
like
I was
us.
like, this is a lot. But realistically though, if you do it, I mean, get that damn monorail pass. That thing will take you from the Sahara to the MGM. It doesn't get you close to all of the casinos, but it tells you which ones each stop's closest to.
Yeah.
And then once you go down, like if you stop at the MGM, but you wanted to go to if you go across the street to the Excalibur, you can take the MGM monorail for free from the Excalibur to the Luxor to Mandalay Bay. So, I mean, you can get from end to end on the strip using those monorails.
Now, are they dirty like the subways?
Actually, no.
They're not like homeless people everywhere.
There's quite a few homeless people around, but I mean,
yeah.
You're going to find that in any tourist place.
Right. Begging for. Yeah, I mean, we ran into a couple in Greece too.
There's enough. There's enough to just walk around and check out in the shops. I mean, unless you're loaded, you're not going in. Like I just went around and walked through like the Venetian and the shops. Yeah, because I mean, just the way that the ceiling's painted, like it feels like you're outdoors.
Yeah.
And so it was cool just to go watch. But I mean, am I going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag? No. Am I stopping at the Rolex dealer? No. Like I'm not dropping 20 G's on a watch.
No.
I don't have 20 G's, but even if I did,
I got better things to spend it on.
Yeah, but I mean it was nice, but the way everything is packed in there now, there's so many casinos because you could see the flamingo in that picture, but so like you've got the flamingo, then you've got Paris right there, but so this is probably a dated picture because somewhere in there is also the link that goes back. That Ferris wheel is part of the link.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, my last time down there last year, I wasn't joking. I had to GPS my way down Las Vegas Boulevard because I couldn't figure out where I was.
And you lived there for a few years.
And I lived there. But there's so much stuff that they've packed in. But like, there's a lot of cool little places that, like, I walked over by the Venetian, and there was this outdoor tent bar, had live music going on, and like I didn't go down into the bar, but I was standing up outside the railing, and there was this drunk lady that was just dancing, having the time of her life, and it was great. And so this other couple had walked up next to me, and the woman was like, "That's my goals for tonight. I want to not care that much by the end of the night." Her husband was like, "You better start drinking a whole lot more if you're planning on getting that carefree."
We would probably just rent a car and take a road trip to the canyons.
Yeah, that's the last time I was in Vegas was 98, and I went out to visit my buddy in Phoenix, and we drove up to Grand Canyon, spent the night there, and then drove to Vegas and spent a couple nights in Vegas, and then went back to Phoenix. But
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Unless you have very specific things on the strip that you want to do, you could clear the strip in a day.
oh yeah,
You come in, if all you're doing is walking around and just checking things out, yeah, a day, two tops. I had 2 evenings and I more than covered it. But yeah, the Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, I think, is less than an hour away.
like 45 minutes or something like
Yeah,
that.
half hour to 45 minutes. Like, you can get out into the desert. You can get into some cool, and not to mention though, a lot of the off the strip places. Some of the cool casinos are off the strip.
Oh right, right. So is
So yeah,
the Bunny
if I was
Ranch.
going with people, it would be different. But just going by myself for a work trip, I just stayed Central Strip, made it as easy as possible, but was still able to wander around. And I got my fill of Vegas. I'm good again until my boss decides I'm low man on totem, because I'm the low man on totem pole with our company. So every time a trade show comes to Vegas, they've all done it. They're like, screw this, make the new guy go. So I keep getting screwed into going to Vegas.
Screwed. Some people would say it's screwed. I know. As we get older, it's kind of like, well, I've been there,
I was
done
going to
that.
say, if I was in my 20s,
Right.
I walked by all the places. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, some of those bars were cool. Like, Blake Shelton has a bar out there called Old Red. And that was like right across the street from where I was staying. And that one had live music. Like, that one seemed like a lot of fun. But once again, I'm going by myself. So it's like I'm not going out really to do much. I'm just walking
Oh yeah.
around, just killing time.
It's awkward when you go on business trip by yourself and you go hang. I'm not going to hang out at the bar, by myself. And because I did that when I worked, I went to Nashville for a week, and I'd go. What am I going to do? I'm not going to go down in some of the bars down here by myself. I mean, I drove through the area there, but I'm not going to go in by myself. I'll look, like I don't know. I mean, I was only in my 30s, but it's like,
No, now I ended up going because I was trying to find somewhere close to the hotel, but I didn't want to pay hotel steakhouse prices.
oh, right.
So I walked around there, and there's like a lot of, almost like, it feels like these little like alleys between the casinos, and some of them they've built a bunch of restaurants and shops and stuff like that into. And I was wandering around and didn't even know it was there. And I came around a corner and there's like a tilted kilt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Perfect. There's no way that anything that's going to be on the menu at a tilted kilt is going to be like $45.
Right. Is the one here even open still? They closed the one here in Cleveland.
Yeah, they closed the one here.
Thought so.
I've never been to the one here, and I'm like, I know there's a gimmick. I think it's like a Hooters, but I'm like, screw it, just went.
It was.
And the food was good, but I sat by myself at the bar, I didn't even drink a beer. I just got a Coke and ate my food and then left.
Right. That's the thing about going on business trips. You don't really drink. It's like, if you drink, it's like, I'll have one beer. I'm by myself. It's like, no, I get you. No, it's, that's, I don't know. I'm kind of glad I'm over that phase of having to travel. I mean, my manager mentioned to me about a conference sometime in June, I think it is, in Columbus, to go for a conference. It's only a day. I'm like, I really don't want to go.
I'll tell you what I did do, though, that was really worth it. But it's because I got to the airport. The guy that texted me, he was picking me up. I mean, it was really early for my flight. So I did go to that. You know how we were talking about the Capital One Lounge
Yeah.
you were. So I did go to the Capital One Lounge at the Las Vegas airport.
Oh, cool. We did not use the lounges, and there's a reason for it, but just location
Oh,
wise.
you had a lot of people.
Well, it wasn't it. It's just that it was too far from our gate.
Oh,
It was on the
see,
other side of
this
the.
one, this one was like the lounge exit, and then three gates down was my gate.
Oh yeah, no, ours was like a concourse. We would have had to take, if you've ever been to Dulles Airport. There's those trains that run under the runways.
Yeah,
You would have had to take a train from concourse C, I think, or no, A, where we landed, like the what are they called? The United Express planes land, the smaller ones, like
yeah,
like the ones coming from Cleveland, like a 45-minute hour flight, land to the international flights, which is the actual big concourses, which is like C. We had to take trains, so it made no sense. But we got lucky at ours because our gate was right next to like this restaurant they had, like right next to it. There was like a bar they had. It was kind of like a Max and Irma's like type of place. Like they had burgers, they had, they had a full bar, so we could go get food. We actually went there, we ate, and then like my parents weren't hungry, so they just sat at the gate with all our carry-ons, and we went and get me and my son and my sister and my niece went and got something to eat, and then we went back and we asked if they wanted something, and but they ended up going down to Subway or something. I guess there was a Subway just down the way from them, and that too. But yeah, I know
see, I had never done the lounges,
they're
and it
worth
was
it.
like I just came around the corner as I was looking for the gate, and like I looked back and I was like, oh, there's the Capital One Lounge. Let me go check it out.
And it gives you
So,
like food and all that. It's all included, right?
dude, it was full bar.
Yeah.
They had, I, you wanted coffee, tea, lemonade. Like they didn't just have pops. They had uh, agave cream soda, like all this fancy shit.
Right. And it's all
And then they
included.
had like a lot of, they call it like the small plates, like because I was there early, so it was like avocado toast, like a bunch, like, but yeah, tons of food options, and like I still had like 3 hours until they were boarding my flight.
Yeah.
So I was, and since I got the TSA pre-check, like I was sitting there thinking like, oh, this is just going to take forever for me to get there, and then I just cruised right through TSA, cruised over to the gate, and I'm like, shit, I still have like 3 hours.
Yeah, we did that clear check or whatever it is here to try to
Yeah,
get through. We signed up at the airport and we got there. They gave you like the 2 week free trial.
yeah,
And ours, it expired on the last Friday, the day we were coming home. So we just canceled it because we didn't need it. Coming home, you can't use it internationally. So we canceled it. So it got us through the security a lot quicker. We got through, and having my elderly parents with us kind of helped a little bit, but they refused to have use the wheelchairs. We kept trying to get them to have somebody push them in a wheelchair, but they made it. Especially the Cleveland airport's not so bad, but Dulles and freaking Athens airports, oh my, what a fucking clown.
dude, Cleveland. Depending on what day you're trying to leave, if you're trying to leave on a Monday, Hopkins is horrible.
Yeah, we
I
got
lucked
lucky.
out because I mean I went and got my pre-check a few months ago, but last year I had done the free trial of Clear, and then I wasn't going to renew it, and then I showed up to go fly, and I mean I showed up like my 2 hours early,
Yeah,
but the line for TSA, because Cleveland just has to do it Cleveland's way. They only have the one that all the way to the left, that's the only TSA for normal passengers.
right.
Even though they have the central TSA and they have the one all the way on the right, I think that's the north one. They have the other TSAs, they just don't use them. But I waited in line, like, dude, my flight was boarding and I wasn't even to like the turnstiles. So I paid for, I was just like, screw it. I'm going to have to re-up the clear just to jump the rest of the line. And that clear actually expired on Monday was my last day for the year. And I had my TSA clear, or my TSA pre-check. So not only did I have to avoid the main TSA line, I got to avoid the TSA pre-check line and go to the TSA plus clear.
Oh,
I mean, I walked through Cleveland. I parked my car and was at my gate sitting down like within 5 minutes.
oh God. Yeah, no, the clear, it got us through, but my mom was dumb and she forgot she had her full like hairspray bottles, and they had like a, those kits that have the fingernail clippers in there, and the one that my parents have is probably from the 1950s, had a pocket knife in it. They didn't realize it. So the guy's like, "Oh, we got to take this out." And I jokingly said to the guy, I'm like, "Can you tell we travel often?" And he goes, "Based on judging by this case," he goes, "this case probably was purchased about 50, 60 years ago." He was real nice about it. And he said, "We just can't let it through." And we're like, whatever. So they just threw it out and everything like that. But yeah, so travel. Yeah, I've got some stories. Why don't we? I don't know why don't we take a break? Get something to drink here. I know we've got some new songs by the Trolls, and I know we had a request or an ask about the Rev Report. Well, we've got 4 tonight. So we'll take a break. We'll play. I don't think we have a. Do we have an art image for it?
Yeah, the third one down.
Image.
Oh yeah, the song.
Yeah, no, I see the song.
The image should be there too. Yeah.
No, if you got the image, go ahead and pop it up there. We'll play it. New song by the Trolls called "Technology a Bitch." I knew you'd like that one. So
oh, that's good. I don't even care what the song is. That's great.
There ain't technology a bitch. There's the box art for it.
Got your number off the internet.
Ain't technology a bitch. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll be back in a couple minutes, and then we'll do a Rev Report. We'll play one of the Rev Reports, and then we'll come back, and I can chat about Greece here a little bit. Got some stories I can tell, especially in the airport. I knocked over a Khalil, so I'll tell you about that. All right, so where's we'll be right back picture, and we can show it. I don't know, I'm all out of whack here. Be right back. Where the hell is it? Here, we'll just do this one. There it is. All right, we'll be right back. I got to play the damn song. Here we go.
Jeez, out of touch much?
Oh, shit.
Woke up at dawn, hit the floor, packing my stuff, tossing and turning, never a dull moment, packing my stuff, licking the screen, scrolling through life, hacking my stuff, 24/7, no break, bitches packing and packing my stuff, got my phone in hand, taking command, bitches scrolling, bitches searching, bitches demand, apps ringing, notifications blizzing, packing my stuff, can't stop, can't quit, bitches packing and packing my stuff, EP packing, tossing and licking like 24/7, he's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch, he be packed, tossing and licking like 24/7, he's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch, from the morning sun to the midnight light, packing my stuff, never a fight, licking the screen, bitches grinding and grinding 24/7, no end, bitches cacking and packing my stuff. He be packing, tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch. He be packing, tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch. He be packing, tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch. He be packing, tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch. He be packing, tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch, ain't technology a bitch. He be packing, Tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch. Ain't technology a bitch. We ain't tossing and licking like 24/7. He's a bitch, we a bitch. Ain't technology a bitch.
Okay, well, these trolls are, using a fake Facebook page to troll me. I'd rather not say the page, but if you're getting requests that have my shin on it, it's not me. It's not me. Obviously the SSC camp and the Blue Group camp are back at it because it's springtime, and they track my truck and everything. And they're relentless. They will not stop it's been almost 15 years now that they won't stop, and I can't take it anymore. And it's just too hard to do a rev report anymore for the show or be on the show. And to even shave takes a lot of grit and grab. And Jesse says he wants someone, the big-eyed Jesse, And, Al's supposed to be involved in all this Blue crew and everything else. But that's the Rev Report. This is a Rev Report. These people are like making fake accounts about me. And I do not drive very far anymore because of my vehicle's very, very sick. It's got brake problems, steering problems, other problems. And I have other problems as well with funds, and I'm not working. But someone said that I should say, well, Jesse. Who's Jesse?
Yeah, who is Jesse? Sorry. There we go.
Who the hell's Jesse?
He ain't here tonight.
Yeah, just not here. Yeah, but Rev's right. It's been about actually it might be closer to 16 years now.
Jesus,
going through this. Yeah,
the trolls. Well, I can tell you right now, Rev, you got to keep doing these because it seems like whenever you do them, the text we get them too. The text messages stop or slow down
for sure.
So keep it up. Keep calling them out. It doesn't take long. Vent. Say what you're really thinking. It's a safe space here. We'll let you say your mind. Say what you got to say. You can say you love Jesse. We all love Jesse. He's not here tonight. But that was Ain't Technology a Bitch by the Trolls, our house band. Not the same ones that are messing with Rev. Trust me. They're not.
They just took the name.
Yeah, they just thought the name would be fitting for the show. But all right. So, yeah, we were talking.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
We figured you'd like that one. And then when we saw the name, we're like, oh, Dustin will appreciate this. Because I think you kind of coined it. So, yeah. So, Dustin, we if you missed the first segment or hour of the show, we're already 58 minutes. Damn. Cavs are winning, by the way. They're up big at halftime. Not that it means anything. They blew a lead last time.
Yeah, that was fun watching that collapse at the sports book.
Yeah, that was something. A little really disappointing. But
my
thoughts were I kind of agree with Stephen A. Smith. Garland should have been out there. I don't care what's wrong with you. If you can walk, you play.
He just needs his toe rubbed. He's playing tonight.
Who's back tonight?
Everybody's back tonight.
Everyone was back tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking at the box score. They're up 66-45 at halftime. Mobley's started. Mobley's got 10 points and 9 boards. Garland has 5 points and 4 fouls already. So through the toes bugging him. So he's only played 12 minutes. Hunter has played 12 minutes off the bench. He has 3 points and 4 boards. The other guys, Allen's got 13 and 6. Mitchell's got 17 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, and Strus has 13 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. He is 3 of 6 from 3. And then the Beard, Jim's favorite player, Dean Wade, he's got 2 boards off the bench. Jerome is 1 of 5 shooting. He's got 2 points. And Sam Merrill's got 3 points on 1 of 3 shooting off the bench. That's it. That's all it's played for the Cavs. Nobody else has got in there. No Isaac Okoro yet. No Tristan Thompson. No Chuma Okeke. I don't think he's going to get in the game. But, yeah, the Cavs seem to be lighting it up. They are 44% from the field, 36% from 3, while Indiana is
the highest of the season or series.
Indiana is shooting 33% from the field, and they're 5 of 18 from 3. Their leading scorer, Miles Turner, is 12, and their leading scorer is Mathurin off the bench with 13 at halftime.
The Guardians are up 4-0 over the Phillies in the 6th.
Oh, nice. The Cavs held the Pacers to 13 points in the second quarter. They outscored them 34-13. They were tied at 32 at halftime, so the Cavs are up by 21 points right now. See if they can hold it and not blow it like they did last time. But they got everybody back, although Garland toe injury is probably making him a step slower, so he's probably getting a lot of reaching fouls called on him. So at least he's out there.
Yeah, just his presence will make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that too.
Gotta guard him.
That's right, because he can shoot still. All right, so yeah, as we were talking to Dustin, we were talking about Dustin's work trip to Vegas, and you guys all know I was gone for 15 days, so 3 weeks of the show that I was gone for. We went to Greece, and probably was a pretty awesome trip. We were talking about the airport a little bit before the break, and I think the worst part of our trip was the freaking layovers we had going. We left Cleveland and got to DC, and then we had a 5-hour layover in Dulles. And if you've ever been to Dulles' airport, it's not small, but it really wasn't so bad. We went to our gate, and like I said, there was like a restaurant like right next to where our gate was. So we found like a row of seats, and we all just kind of plopped down there, and we just kind of like sat there, watched whatever we had on our phones and stuff like that, and just kind of waited. And then we boarded the plane for the 9.5 hour flight to Athens. And then we got into Athens. I could show you actually. When we got into, let me share this here. This here was what the food they fed us on the plane. There we go. This was like our dinner, as my son calls it, prison food. I don't know if you can see that on the screen there. My son was calling it our prison food. This was our dinner. He took a picture of this. This was like a pasta with like cheese pasta, like a rotini, and then this nasty ass salad right here. And the salad dressing that they gave us with it was like this lemon vinaigrette. It was like spicy, which I'm like, it was not good. The best part of this entire meal were these two things: the bread and the little dessert. It was like a little cheesecake thing. But yeah, this is what they fed us for dinner on the flight. We had a choice between this and like a chicken stew and some like beef, some kind of beef thing. I forget what it was, but yeah, this was pretty much what we ate on the plane dinner wise. And then when we got to right before we got to Athens, about an hour and a half from landing, they gave us breakfast, which actually was pretty good. They gave us like these croissants, egg croissants. Like I know I had mine had like turkey sausage in with it. And there was one, no, I got the one without the meat. There was one that had like cheese and egg and like caramelized onions, and it was actually really pretty good. But that was our dinner right there. I closed the whole damn thing out. Shit. I'm screwing this up here. It's right here. There we go. And then when we got into Athens, I thought this was actually pretty cool. My son found we were walking through the Athens airport, and there was like a Nike store, and they built this Lego set of Giannis in his Greece national team. This was all made of Legos, and it was probably about 6. I think the ball is probably about 7 feet up there, so it's pretty much close to scale.
You wanted to take it home, put it in your basement.
I wanted to tackle it.
I'll be right back. I gotta go let the dog out.
Ooh, let the dogs out.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was actually like really, really cool. It was like my son saw it and he was like, yeah, I mean, you could see it's all Legos.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. He's
You
all
give it a
happy.
spear. It
Yeah,
breaks.
I spear. I give the cane chop right to it. They did have a there was like a person that was working this year. They were like standing like right here. People were walking by. There was a bunch of people walking by, and they like gravitated towards it. It's like nobody's gonna knock it over. And they actually did have like a the barcode. You could scan it, and it kind of told you a little bit about it. You can see it's officially Lego. But that was actually kind of cool in the Athens airport, I thought. And then once we got to Athens, it was like 9 in the morning, and we were like, "Oh, let's." We had a flight already at 5 o'clock that left from Athens to Samos, so it was probably closer to like noon when we landed. It was like 11:30 or something. So we got to there, and they told us that there's a earlier flight that we could have got on. Is left at 1 o'clock. And we went to the ticket for the Aegean Airlines, and they told us, "Oh, the flight is full." So we had to wait in the Athens airport for another 5 hours. Yeah, that to me was like the worst part. And there was actually another picture I wanted to show to kind of give you an idea of what we thought of that. With my son, if I can I forgot to download it or copy it over to my photos here. Let me grab it real quick. But I mean, the worst part was we were just like laying there. Where the hell is the picture? Here it is. Copy it over. So yeah, this is what my where the hell did it go? This is what my we got to Athens. We were waiting. We literally had to wait 5 hours. This is what my son did. We found this little corner in the we didn't know where our gate was for our flight to Samos was at. They just told us go to Concourse B. And now the Athens airport is like being in a shopping mall. It doesn't look like an airport. You walk through it, and there are like it's nothing but stores, and all you smell is you remember walking through like the department stores, like when we were like at the mall, and you just walk through the perfume section.
Oh,
All
yeah.
those people there with their samples.
Yep.
That's exactly what these stores smelled like. You walk through, and there are people that are selling perfume, and it reminded me of being in the '90s, going to like the walking through the mall and
A
going,
company.
yeah, May Company, J.C. Penney, those things, and that it was like nothing but like different stores. They had like these grab and go like food places. They had like ice cream. It was like being it was a mixture of the food court and like the stores, like all mixed together. And that's what this concourse was pretty much. It was 2 levels. There was an up and a downstairs to it, and we had to. They told us just go over here. You're going to be leaving from Concourse B, but we don't know what your gate is yet. You're not going to know until an hour before your flight leaves. So we were like literally had to find a place where we could all like hang out, and we found this little corner. There were right here. There was like three seats here, and there were seats here. So we like stacked all our stuff in the corner here, and we just kind of sat there and literally for 5 hours after flying in 9.5 and having a 6 hour layover in freaking DC. This is pretty much what we did. My son was like, he was so done with the traveling. But we finally got to, I don't know if I put the picture of the plane that we had to take in this set of pictures, but no, we finally got to our hotel, and this was a picture from our balcony, from our window on Samos here, which I thought was pretty sweet. It was a pretty good view. And you were talking about renting a car and driving. This isn't going to do it justice. These are the roads here. They look like this pretty much everywhere. They literally, like, this car here is like a regular size SUV. This car would take up that entire road going one way. So the cars they drove over there were like the little like the tiny little cars, like the Toyota, what are those called? Like the little
Like the
Toyota,
little Fiats.
the Fiats were all over the place, but that on Samos, the driving, and plus there's no sidewalks. So everybody walks in the street and they have people on motorcycles and scooters everywhere. So you literally have to like navigate. It's like a free for all, like driving through these things. Like we were like, we're not driving anywhere. Absolutely not. But we finally got to a hotel. It was you could see it was at sunset, but it overlooked. This is the main bay coming into the main town of Samos on the island. So this was like pretty much um, our the view we had, and then we went to that. I mean, you probably have heard like people talking about like the cats over there. And I did these because I know Jesse loves him and his cats. We went to the town of Pythagoria, which is where Pythagoras was born. The good old Pythagorean theorem, and I guess this, yeah, I guess another picture. Here we go. I guess this one's all mad. They are like everywhere on this island, and I get the town we went to. This was they told us at our hotel we got to check out Pythagoria. It's, I guess, in the summer, like this is where all the rich people come with their $20 million yachts, and they dock it in the harbor. I wish I'd put these in order, but this is like the famous statue, the Pythagoras statue. It's in the harbor. Everybody goes to Samos, takes a picture in front of this thing, and I got a picture of me and my niece in front of it. Oops. We're all happy. So I mean, and then I got a picture of the harbor. Here it is. This is what like the harbor looks like from that statue. Like all these are like shops all along, and restaurants all along here, but these multi-million dollar yachts like dock in here. There's a pirate. The pirate ship was over in Hios, but yeah, these are the sides of the cars that they have over there. Dustin, you could not fit comfortably in these. It would be try to they kind of like the old Mallrats line. What, in the backseat of a Volkswagen?
Uncomfortable situations.
Tried to have sex with you in a very uncomfortable spot, like in a backseat of a Volkswagen. But that Pythagoria is noted for the Blue Street. This is like a shopping area, which is like obviously Blue Street. You can see why it would be called that. Got some pretty cool pictures. There's like a bunch of shopping over there. This is the town we lost my dad in. We were walking around the harbor after after we ate lunch. This was our lunch, by the way. I got steak, and of course the cats were like all over us for this. Oh no, this wasn't it. But I got Dimitri got a steak, and I think I got fish. That's what it was. I got octopus or something. This was a different day. But this is the kind of food they ate over there: meat and potatoes, straight up. But here's a shot of a restaurant we ate lunch at. I was in Kokari, another famous place. But we were walking around in the town, and my dad saw my niece and my son like walking ahead, and we wanted to go down this other street. My dad goes, "Oh, I'll catch up to them," and they didn't know he was coming after him. Now my 90-year-old father is trying to like catch up to a 13 and a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. So we kind of went off. My sister, my mom, and I went a different direction. Then we were walking around, just looking at some of the shops, and we come around. We walk up this like area, and there's like this church at the top of this hill in the town, and it used to be an old castle. They turned it into a church, and we come walking around the corner, and we see my son and my niece. We're like, where's my dad? And they're like, what do you mean? And we didn't know where he went. He didn't. So we then spent the next like half hour trying to find him. We call his cell phone, and he didn't answer. So finally we were walking around, and I called him, and he finally answered. I'm like, where are you? And he's like, well, I'm over by the taxi stand. And I said, well, can you get back towards the water? And he goes walking down that way. And I told my mom to sit in this one spot. So she just sat there, and I saw my dad from a distance, and I'm like, okay. So then I had to go find my son because he kind of wandered off, and then I went and looked for him, and I came back, and I'm like, then my son, then I'm like, where the hell is everybody? And then my sister texts me and says, oh, we're all here. So we went and we finally found my dad, but he kind of wandered off and went off on his own type of thing. But that's not what I wanted to do.
Living his best life.
He was wandering around like, that's not the street. These are what the street like looked like. That's not it either. Damn it! I got these all out of whack. I'm like really. Here, look at the pussy pictures. I'll just go through these pictures. I got to put these in order because my work wants me to do a presentation on our next meeting here. So then we went up to the village that my mom's father is from. This village called Leka, which is like in the middle of the mountains. So we walked up to the top of this. Literally, the taxis could only take us so far because this is one of the roads, as you can see. That's my son and there's some little kid he was playing soccer with. He just started playing soccer with some random kid in the street. That we walked into this like square, and it's like this little town, like this little square. They had like one little restaurant. All these people were sitting out there, and they were lighting off fireworks because it was right after Easter. And like the big thing they do over there, they shoot off fireworks like constantly. And I guess they also like to light sticks of dynamite and set those off too. Like they'll light dynamite and they'll throw them off like the cliff and like where the water is, and you just hear these big loud explosions all the time. We scared the crap out of us at first, and we asked somebody, like, what the hell is that? They're like, oh, it's just dynamite. I'm like, what?
It's just hand grenades.
Pretty much. Like, it's just like a howitzer or what? You're gonna, oh, don't worry about it. It's just turkey shelling us, whatever. But he just started playing soccer with these kids. There's probably a good another like 8 or 9 kids that were playing soccer, and they were like kicking this ball and around there. This is the village that my mom's father's from. So we walked up there. That was this picture here. This is where we had to walk up this hill. This is pretty much how wide the road is. My niece is not very big. And there's no way you could fit 2 cars up this road. So our taxis couldn't get up there. So they dropped us off at the bottom. We had to walk up this hill. And that's where the square was. And I know my son's another picture of my son just kind of chilling in the square here. Trying to be all cool.
He be licking.
Yeah, he be. This guy back here be licking. Look at him. Looking all. Yeah. There's an idea of what the cars are. That's how they are. But we were just kind of like hanging out up there. That's another. But these are what the roads look like there too. But so let me think of anything else. Oh, then we met our family. Well, obviously these are the ones. This is my parents and my sister and my niece, and this is my one cousin that this is her daughter, Eleni. She's 25. But this is their house that they live in an apartment in the city because they own a clothing shop. Like her husband. I got a picture here. This is my cousin Dina. This is her husband, Vangelis, and this is their son Kyriakos. He's retired now. He used to be like a forest ranger or something like that there. So he's retired, and they live in this they live in an apartment in the city of Samos, which is really like the size of like Rocky River. And but they're going to move to this house this is like their backyard. This is like looking from like the bottom of their yard.
Jeez.
Yeah, and this, if you can see this in the distance, like these mountains here, you see them and like the outline of them.
Yeah,
that's Turkey. That's how close they are to Turkey. But this is like where they live. Like their house is. Did I get another picture of it? No, that's not it. I think that's the only picture I got from. Oh wait, here we go. Here's another one from the top of what they look like. We went down to the water. Like you could walk down this ramp, this like down here, and they have a little beach down here. The beach is really tiny, and it's all rocks. It's not like sand. And there's like these rocks over here that my son and his it was his cousin Kyriakos. Kyriakos is like 15, so they were like hanging on these rocks and stuff and that. But yeah, so that was what we did on Samos pretty much. We just kind of ate a lot of food and went there for Easter, and the amount of food they fed us for Easter was ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. That's not it. I thought I had a picture of Samos Town, but I guess I don't. No, there it is. That's the main town on Samos. This is pretty much all it is. If you notice that there's not really many tall buildings, it's like that there too. And then we went to Chios. This was this was when we first arrived. My son and the little statue. This was like a 20-minute flight from Samos, and this was the view from this was like the panoramic view from our hotel. This is the main town of Chios. If you notice, the names of the cities are the names of the island too. The main cities are named after the island. They had these. This was like their main port, and right there was like the ferries that come in, like the ones that how they get their goods come in. I didn't get a picture of the ferry, the big one. It is probably the size of a cruise ship, and it comes in and is freaking loud as hell when it lowers its anchor and it docks over here. We were at dinner one night, or lunch or dinner with my sister and my niece, and we were walking back to the hotel, and one was coming in, and my niece got this really sweet ass video of it, but I didn't get a chance to get her to send it to me. But that's basically what how they get their they get like their semi trucks, they bring them in on there. And Chios wasn't much, the roads weren't much better than on Samos. Now there's probably the population of the entire island of Samos lives at the city of Chios. If that says anything about the island, it's like bigger than it. And this was I know people might ask, this is a gyro. What I had there, it was freaking awesome. And then the beer they had was pretty sweet too. I think there's anything really cool. Those windmills that you probably have seen pictures of before. It's like the most photographed place on Chios. We walked over to those fuckers. We got to go to the Turkish baths. This is like the Chios castle. You can tell my son's really excited to get a picture taken. But this is like these houses in this is all like in the castle of Chios. There's like these walls around this part of the city, and people like live in there. It was like a maze getting through there. So we had to go. Here's a toilet in the Turkish bath, but we kind of like went through there. Oh, here's the plane we took. This is the plane we took between islands. You get on, you had to walk on there, and we had to get on the back. Our tickets were the front of the plane, so everybody was kind of like, oh, cool, we'll get on first. Now we had to walk all the way from the back of the plane to the front. And then this is like I mentioned, this is a picture of my dad walking in the beach. This is the beach he learned how to swim when he was a kid. He hasn't been there since like 1958 or something. This was like the classic earthquake story that he tells when he was little. Him and my aunt were out there swimming, and all these women were yelling, "Get out of the water!" There was an earthquake that hit. The name of the beach is called Karfas. This is another picture of it, and then there's one more picture. Yes, the water is really that clear too, which was pretty sweet. And here's those windmills that they're really famous. I don't know if you've seen them before. If you Google Chios Island, this is what you'll probably see a picture of. And there's another picture from the back of them. And does there's anything worth? That's the bathhouse again. Here's some moussaka if you want to see some good shit. And then we get to the good stuff, like my birthday, Dimitri and I went to Delphi to see some of the ruins. That's at the very top. That's the entire. I took a panoramic shot of the whole thing. That was all the way at the top of this thing. Here's like another picture of it, and then this is like what the city what they said it looked like back in the Roman times, like a model of it. That's the ski town. We got a Boopus. Got
Lips weren't big enough.
It does, doesn't it? We got a statue with no pee-pee. These rocks, these are supposedly like the myth is that Zeus let these two eagles go on the opposite ways around the earth, and wherever they met was going to be called the center of the world, and they met over Delphi. So these rocks fell out of the sky, and I forget what they're called, these stones, but this is one that's on the outside, and this is like considered like the center of the world, like marker. I forget the name of what they called it, but they have one inside the museum there that is more ornate, more decorated, that they found buried in there. It's the same type of thing. And like this white stuff here is like cement that they are trying to keep it together. This is the actual material. This is stuff that they just did to kind of fill in the cracks and stuff. And then you got this lady here, all confused.
She's like, "Can I go inside that?"
She wants to. This is like one of the only bronze. It's like a bronze statue. It's like a chariot driver. But they actually have pieces of like the actual chariot. But this said that the I can't get over how the detail of like the hair and the lips here, everything like that. Trying to see, there's more, a couple better pictures here of Delphi. This is the temple of the treasury of the Athenians that they actually found the pieces of it and they put it back together. It's like when the Greek government let them put it back together. There's the amphitheater. That's the temple of where the oracle was. This is pretty much the temple where the oracle would be. And there's one more picture I wanted to show here. Is it this one? No. That's not it. There's a better picture. I don't know why I can't find it. But you can see the mountains. This was a 2.5 hour bus ride from Athens that my son and I on my birthday went there to this. It was a pretty sweet trip. We stopped in this town. Yes, they do have one of these stupid signs. Rakova. It's like their ski resort town. It was actually pretty sweet. This is the town in the background here. And then if you up here on the mountains, they have these two ski resorts. I guess in the winter, this is like the most popular like location for people to come in Greece for skiing. Oh yeah, the Sphinx, the Greek Sphinx. If you notice, it's got a face of a woman, which I thought was pretty cool. There's a side view. I have a side view of it here too somewhere. I'll show this. Some of the stuff they uncovered there, but that's the picture I wanted to find. Picture from the top looking over there. And then our Acropolis pictures. I'm not going to go through all these. Are a lot there. It was, if you can tell, it's really windy. We're freezing up there. It's freaking ice cold from these wind gusts that kept popping up there. It wasn't really like cold, but it was just windy as hell. There's one really good picture of the Acropolis I got. Where is it? Oh fuck! I'm really all over the place here. It's good. It's good. This is good radio or good TV, isn't it? Here's that. This is that venue behind us where Yanni played. That's more of the Acropolis here. More Acropolis. Damn it. Oh, here it is. This is the one I got. It was a really good picture of. It was just pretty awesome being there. And then we went on like this walking food tour of Athens. I went to this meat market and this fish market. Smelled pretty nasty in there too. It was like meat everywhere and fish. I thought I got here. See the fish? It's all fresh. They import some goldfish there.
So what were food prices like there when you would go out to eat?
They were actually We went to dinner. The last night we were there, we went to dinner, and there were 6 of us. So we all got something to eat and like a drink. It came to like 124 euros, which is probably 150 bucks.
It's not bad.
No, the food over there. Well, like this was at our hotel in Athens. This was their take on a gyro. It was pretty much like a steak. Actually, pretty much it was a steak that they sliced really thin, and they just gave you these tomatoes, onions, and the cucumber here, and then the pita.
Really good.
It was amazing. My mom ate this 3 times, like 3 days in a row. She had this. This was on their lunch menu. You can only get this at lunchtime, but it was freaking awesome. And this was 14 euros, maybe 12 euros, 14 euros is what this cost.
That's not bad.
No, and I know euros are more than $1, but I think it was like 91 cents is a euro is equal to 91 cents or something, or vice versa. I forget what it is. It's like the dollar is worth less, but food prices were really, really good. I mean, the food over there is so much different than here. They don't eat a lot of lamb. Like people thought that we didn't see a lot of lamb on the menu until we got to Athens. Athens was like a completely different world compared to the islands. Like this is like the Parliament Square. This is the hotel that the when the like presidents come, like if Trump went to Greece, he'd stay in this hotel. This is like it's literally like right across the street from the Parliament building. We went there for the changing of the guard. And
I want a pair of those pants.
They're not pants. It's like a dress. It's like a kilt. There's like over 400 like pleats in this thing. You got to look all serious though. It's all mad.
It's gonna give you the big boot.
You wouldn't want it with these. Have like nails in them. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. I got a picture of them changing the actual guard. I got videos of it too. Like here they are changing. There's riot police here because we went on Greek Labor Day, so there's protests in the square behind us. There was people just walking in like around the square. There's all these different groups with different protest signs and stuff, and it was like I don't know. It was just like loud. There were people there with the Free Palestine people there too, but there were also a bunch of the other ones too. But they showed up there were police in riot gear like everywhere around the square. They told my sister like, yeah, if I was a tourist, I wouldn't want to be here. And we're like, you don't know where we come from. Our riots or protests are a little more crazy. But
you call this a riot?
It wasn't even a riot. You don't know what we're talking about, bitch. Here, yeah. Like yeah, this was actually really cool.
You have to bring in tanks to break us up. You just go ahead and keep on talking.
Right. Like this was actually kind of cool. Like this guy here traded places with this guy. This guy, they like stopped. He like put his gun like down. I got a video of it, and he like turns and they walk up and down the step like in sync, and then he turns around and this guy joins the line, and then they come over to the next guy here, and then the guy in the middle swapped with him, and they do it every hour on the hour. They change out. And our guide was telling us that this is like you have to apply for this. This is like some elite like part of the Greek army. You have to apply for it, and you have to look a certain way. Like if you look at all these guys, they have like the same features. Like they have the mustache. Mm-hmm. They both have like the same like jawline and stuff. Like they have to look a certain way, otherwise they won't be accepted into it. They look like all these guys all look exactly the same. Even this guy here, he was like up here like pretty much like because it was so windy, he had like to fix their like this braid in his off his hat and like his skirt. He had to like fix it so it wasn't like all out of place. it was so cool watching him do it though. But yeah, that's I think that's all the pictures I got. I know it's and I mean I think the best story I have. Well, the other story was that we went to Delphi. My son and I were there, and my sister was in uh, Santorini with my niece. So my parents had nothing to do on the 28th. So my son and I were gone. So my mom and dad didn't want to sit in the hotel, so they went for a walk, and they got lost. But they were asking people how to get back to our hotel, and finally they made it back. So then they went and had lunch, and then they decided to go for another walk, and they got lost again. And then so then they pretty much walked to the Acropolis from our hotel and then made it back. The Acropolis was 10 minutes from our hotel by foot, and it was so close. And then they came back, so then we got back to the hotel after our trip, and we were tired. Then I went to their room, and then I went to dinner. We went to dinner at the hotel restaurant. We ate at the hotel a lot in Athens. The food was really good. And then they told me the story about them getting lost. And the next day, my sister and my niece came, joined us in Athens, and then we went to the Acropolis tour the next day. And then we had a day off, which was basically Greek Labor Day. And then we came home the next day. But our flight home, this is the story about the Indian fellow that I knocked over. We were delayed in Athens taking off, so we were like 45 minutes late taking off, and it was an 11-hour flight coming home. So we landed in DC, and we got off the plane, and we had to go to customs. So we go to customs. Now, this is what customs is. They told us when you get off the plane, you got to go to customs, and you got to get your bag and then go through customs. So we get in there. 6 of us go to the window. First, the line is pretty long. We have like an hour between our connecting flight at this point. So we get through customs. This line was ridiculous. We finally get to the front, and we have all our passports. And the lady there goes, do you have anything bring anything back to over $1,000? We're like, no. Do you have any food items in your suitcase? No. Okay. Stamped our passports or whatever she did, handed them back to us. We had to walk down a hallway, find our luggage that was coming off a carousel. They already had taken it off. They put it in a row marked with Athens and whatever. We grabbed our luggage, and then we had to walk down a hallway and put it back on another conveyor belt for them to take it to our connecting flight. They didn't even bother to check our luggage. We had to sit there. And then we had to go back through security. So we go back through security, which at this point is ridiculous. We have a half an hour now, 25 minutes before our flight is boarding to come back to Cleveland. We get through security, and they told us, oh, the gates are like right there when you get through security. Well, we're in Concourse A to come home. We're in fucking Concourse C when we landed. So we had to frickin' book it through the airport. We had to walk all the way to where these trains are. So we literally had to walk. If you walking normally, it was going to take about 25 to 35 minutes to get to our other gate. We had to be there in 15. So we have now my 88-year-old mother, my 89-year-old father with us. So my mom, sister, and my niece just started going, and my dad and my son and I are going. And now my dad did not pee or anything on the plane, the 11-hour flight coming. And he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. So we finally said, can you wait till we get to our concourse? So we get down this escalator. We have to get on this stupid little train. Looks like one of our RTAs. We get on the train, and we go to concourse, and we get off at the first stop. Now, I'm thinking, they'll be smart and they'll open the doors on the other side of the train so we can get off before the people want to get on. No, we had to get off the same way. So we're starting to walk off, and these people are trying to get on the train while we're trying to get off. I come walking out, and these 2 Indian guys come walking, and I'm going towards the escalator, and they're going towards the train. I'm not stopping at this point. So the first guy comes walking, he sees me, and he goes around me. The second guy just keeps right on walking, right into my path. I did not stop. I plowed into this guy. He went down like in a heap. Just boom. I just kept
sack of potatoes.
Literally went down, and I just kept right on. I like shouldered him, and he went straight down. I just kept right on walking. I turned around, I looked at him. he didn't know what hit him. He was like sitting on his butt, looking around, like what just happened. And his friend is like already on the train, like looking for him, like, what are you doing? And he was like sitting there. As he gets up, the doors of the train start to close. I don't think he made it to the train. I was going up the escalator at this point, and I just turned around, and I just shook my head. I'm like, whatever. So then we had to go up an escalator, and then we had to walk down this thing. Then we had to go down another escalator. So we're going down the escalator. Now there's the escalator going up and down, and there's stairs in the middle. So you would think that if you're like in a hurry, like, wouldn't you take the stairs instead of going on the escalator where people are standing and try to walk down the escalator? These two ladies decided they wanted to walk down the escalator. So, and I'm not a small person, so I'm standing like in the middle. The escalators are not that big. The lady kept trying to push around me, and I just wouldn't move. And so we get to the bottom of the escalator, and she's able to get around me, and she says something, and I said, if you wanted to go faster, there's these things called stairs. That's what they're for. She turned around and looked at me, and I said, yeah, I'm talking to you, bitch. And they just kept right on walking. I'm like, I'm not putting up with this shit. So we finally got there. So my dad goes, I gotta go to the bathroom. So he goes into the bathroom. So I told him, we'll meet you at our gate. So I told him the gate number. We get to the gate, and I see my sister standing there by the thing, and the guy's like, we're waiting, and I walk up, and he's like, well, if you scan your ticket, you got to get on the plane now. And I'm like, well, we're waiting for my dad and my mom and my niece. And he's like, I can't hold the thing up. We're calling last call for Cleveland. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I turn around, and I see my parents come walking around the corner. So we get on the plane, and then we make it back. But that was like the worst part of the whole trip was probably the airport. The Dulles airport was probably the worst part coming back. I knocked over Rajesh, Singh, Khalil. I don't know.
Now, for the intercontinental flights, what type of seats were you in? Were you just in like normal economy type seats?
Yeah, the plane was one of those 787s. It had the three window, the
Three
three in
rows.
the middle, and then three in the window. So going, we were both like, we were on the window side. We had my sister and my mom and my niece were in front of us. We were in the like on the one side. Coming back, we had three in the middle and three on the side. We sat in the middle, and I'll tell you, it was much better sitting in the middle seats than it was sitting on the window. I felt more cramped when we were sitting on the window, but our flight coming home wasn't as full as going. Going, it was completely full. Coming back home, there was the row behind us had one person in it, and the row in front of my sister and my mom and my niece had one person in it. The row in front of us only had two people sitting in it. The worst part about it is I was sitting on the end, and this old couple that was sitting like in the row, like the windows in our row, they kept standing up, and they were like, the lady would stand up and she would put her hands on the rows, and she would like just stretch her legs. So her ass is like going like right here in front of me, and she kept bumping into me. And I'm like, oh, if she wasn't like 80 years old, I would have probably said something. But and then the one stewardess or the flight attendant kept bumping me every time she'd walk by, like she'd walk by and she'd like bump into me every single time. I'm like, God damn it, lady. But I purposely
That's the downside of the aisle seat, but I always take the aisle seat.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, whatever. I wasn't that. It wasn't that. I mean, I knew when I heard her walk by, I would kind of pull my arm in. And she would just bump into me. It wasn't anything major, but I'm like, she'd keep doing it. I mean, I purposely didn't sleep on the way home because I didn't want the time change to fuck me up. I binge watched season 3 of White Lotus on the way back. That's 8 episodes. That was about 8.5 hours worth or 9 hours worth of stuff. And then I watched like 2 episodes of Andor. I downloaded on my phone, so I was like, perfect. So I stayed awake. My son slept quite a bit, and my dad slept quite a bit. But yeah, well, so that was pretty much it. I mean, overall, the trip was outstanding, and I would definitely go back. I definitely want to go back like sooner than later. But yeah, the
It
food.
sounds like the worst part is just the traveling part.
That was the worst part about it was the 9-11-hour flights and then the layovers. The layovers are what made it the worst. I mean, the flights weren't so bad. They had all kinds of movies and shit you could watch on the screen in front of you, and they had TV shows and movies. I watched Band of Brothers on the way over. I just put the whole series on, and I'm like, let's watch Band of Brothers. I've seen it a million times, but why not? So I watched Band of Brothers on the way over. and that too.
Yeah,
But
I don't see. I don't like the flights. Even I mean, mine was 4 hours from Vegas to Atlanta, and it's like, dude, like my ass is falling
oh
asleep.
yeah,
Like, unless you're in first class, like it's
Yeah.
no,
I can't get comfortable. And
oh it's well, you're also 6'6", and you
well,
know,
I mean, like I was in the extra leg room seats.
yeah,
Like that part wasn't a problem. It's the fact that I have no ass.
yeah,
I have
right,
no ass, which means I have no cushion. So it's those seats. They're comfortable for the first half hour to 45 minutes. After that, man, it's like you're sitting. You might as well be sitting on just a metal slab.
right. Oh yeah, it's they're not comfortable, not at all. Update to the Cavs, they're up 102-86 now in the fourth. Both Mitchell and
Nice.
Garland have 4 fouls, but Garland has 10 points. Ty Jerome cannot do shit. He's got 2 points still. Can the Guardians won 6-0. But I know. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Before we go, I kind of teased we were gonna watch a new segment. Maybe we'll do throughout the year, where we'll pick like an old canceled TV show or a movie that kind of obscure and watch it and then kind of talk about it. I think we could kick off. I don't. We'll have to come up with a name for the segment. The old show Firefly came out in 2003. It was canceled mid-season, and they just kind of stopped airing it. There are 14 total episodes in this series. If you've never watched it, you can see there's Nathan Fillion. There's some pretty big name actors that you probably recognize. This picture is from 22 years ago or whatever. It's kind of like a space western is the best way to describe it. They're like a crew of the Serenity, which is that ship up there. There was a movie called Serenity. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. That was supposed to wrap this show up, but it really didn't. It just kind of focused on one small piece of the series. I watched this probably back in 2005, and then it's been one of those, like, if you're like a nerd, if you watch Big Bang Theory, they always talked about it every now and then about how they wanted Joss Whedon to bring back Firefly and how they were upset that it ended the way it did. And CBS had, or CBS or Fox, whoever aired it, they had aired 10 episodes. They would just randomly play the episodes. There was no like sequence to them. And then they just, after 10 weeks, they just canceled it. And then they never released all 14, there's 4 episodes they never released. Well, I have all 14 episodes. So we're going to watch this probably starting next week. We'll watch episode 1. It's a little longer than the other episodes. Episode 1, I think, is like 86 minutes, and the rest of the episodes are like 40 to 44 minutes long. But next week we'll kind of watch episode 1 and give our thoughts of it, and we'll see how that goes. And then we could take suggestions for anybody who wants to give us a show or a movie that is kind of obscure that we've never, they haven't heard of in a while, or we've never seen, or something that you think is
awesome.
And then we can go from there. One last thing before we go. The June 20th, we have a guest coming on. It is, how do you say his last name? Is it Teskey?
Yeah.
Matt Teskey. He's from the Cleveland Classic Console and Arcade Show. We've kind of hyped it brief recently. Here it is, Cleveland's Classic Console and Arcade Gaming Show. It comes on just July 25th at the Soccer Sportsplex in North Homestead. We go to it. We've been going to it for about 10 years or so. I think Jim might have been going longer than on the rest of us, but it's a really good for anybody who's like into retro stuff, and some pretty good stuff there. But on June 20th, Matt Teskey will be joining us for about 20 minutes or so. If you have any questions you want us to ask him, just shoot us an email at zeroviewproductions@gmail.com and let us know. So that's all I got tonight. I know we had a couple things we didn't get to, like our meth raccoon. We talk about that next week.
The meth raccoon ain't going nowhere.
No. Yeah, I know. So, all right, next week, Jesse, good to be back. I can give you guys an update on how our baseball team did this week. I think we have 2 or 3 games between now and our next show. Hopefully it's 3-0, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not very...
I'm going to spend the week in Detroit.
Ooh,
Lovely Detroit.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you have some stories.
And remember, technology.
Ain't technology a bitch. We also...
Technology a bitch.
Next week we will debut the other song by the Trolls. I don't think is there this one. Asks. So
I like the barcode. I'm awesome.
It's funny is that I asked him about this, and he's talking like it's real.
Really?
Who made this? And they're like, you did. It's your song. And he's like, oh yeah, it is my song.
We'll have to get him on one of these times too, buddy. All right, guys. We'll see you. Oops, we'll see you next week.
All right.
No scripts required to live. No scripts.